No, 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 something. It's Jay and Stu talk Doctor Who.
Hello! Welcome,
Professional as
everyone.
ever.
Welcome, YouTube viewers, to the episode that we are doing.
We're doing the talking. So basically, what we did was we said a while ago we were going to go through each era of Doctor Who with each Doctor and do a bad episode and a good one. And about a year ago, we did
Yeah, I think it's
the
more than a
good
year at
William
this
Hartnell
point.
one, and about a year before that, we did a bad William Hartnell one, and now we're doing a good and a bad Patrick Troughton one in the
We,
same
we've,
stream.
you know, we've already doubled our yearly record. We're just gonna,
which
today
which
of
is one. Eventually by the time I'm in my forties, we'll have got up to the present day by the time I'm in my forties.
I mean, our current plan, not that this will necessarily happen, but the idea that we were floating around is trying to do, and that, to be fair, we started floating this idea around in what, like,
November.
yeah, of doing one Doctor every month, so that by the time we get basically to the modern day, it's time for the new era to start. And that'll be like a fun way
Yeah,
to count up to the new era. But it's now
which
February.
is in which is in November, and chances are the way that we work will be on to the third Doctor by like May. So
Yeah,
who cares? Who cares? Time is irrelevant,
I mean, especially in Doctor Whom.
especially in Doctor Who. Yeah, that's kind of the point, isn't it?
So we did the web planet in on
2020,
yeah,
I
September
think.
30th, 2020 was the web planet, and then we did Dalek Invasion of Earth.
In
Um,
September 2021.
yeah. Oh, we missed
These things
September 2022.
we didn't do anything in 22. These things take more time and planning than 5/14/23.
Yes. True. These are the most high effort content on the channel.
Most high
What
effort
people don't
content,
know,
making our schedules line up.
yeah, what people don't know is how long it takes before we do these streams to script out everything we're going to say and then rehearse them, and so that we can memorize it
Because
properly.
this is all scripted. My tangents and dragging us off topic, they're all meticulously planned
Yeah,
beforehand for this artistry.
you're actually a fictional
Anyways,
character who I've conceived for
I
this
am
show.
uh, I am a fictional character.
Well, that's going to be
Yeah,
appropriate
yeah.
in the next one.
This is yeah. That's why I'm on screen and you're not, because I'm CGI.
Yeah, yeah. CGI has finally got to the point where you can be on screen.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, this makes sense with all the AI generated art that I keep getting recommended on YouTube these days.
And because all of this is very true, this is just a very meta fourth wall break joke. Anyway, Stuart,
Yeah,
the
flip the
Dominators.
camera and break the wall. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna start the stream by talking about the shit episode of from the second Doctor's era that I have recommended we
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Um,
I think it's yeah. I've recommended the a shit episode and a good episode, and the Dominators. In spite of myself, I hadn't watched it in years. I remembered it being a bit shit, and in spite of myself, I found it kind of cute.
yeah, so did I. I had a really good time with it. Um,
Yes.
the only criticism I would have of it is, like, it doesn't need to be, what, 2.5 hours long.
No,
Um,
it doesn't.
it really doesn't. But it was the 60s. This was just, people had a lot less other options of things to do. Um,
Mm.
so why not just have, like, very long scenes of just the Quarks looking at some people lifting rocks.
And they're just sort of trundling around the set and just go, "We are the Quarks. We will
Yeah.
destroy you."
I honestly really appreciate the visual design of the Quarks. I also they do a thing in part one where they don't reveal the Quarks for like ages. Um,
Try, trying to do a Dalek thing,
yeah,
build them up to the
and
point
then
where they look like that.
yeah, they show them on screen, and they hang on. I want to see. I can't find a shot of them because they hold off on showing them for so long. They do a load of POV shots from them. Legitimately can't find a single shot of a quark. Did they not even show them in the first episode? Oh yeah, okay, it's the
No, I
cliffhanger. The reveal is the cliffhanger. I love this. I love this visual.
Oh yeah, destroy, destroy.
I mean, I really, I really appreciate the Dominators design, right, and the Quarks design as well, because they're so extremely goofy in like every conceivable way, but they take themselves so seriously the whole time, and I just enjoy that. And it's like it's not bad. It's not like it's not that it makes it a bad story because like I'm sure that to them this is a very dignified way to dress, but to us it's just funny.
Yeah, the dress code of the Quarks and the Dominators is really quite adorable. So the Dulcians have this sort of curtain thing, this sort of
Yes,
curtain skirts on the front of them.
I like it. It's very much they very much do seem like another culture. It's not the kind of thing that you would generally see people wearing in the 60s, which I like. It's not like,
Just looking at them right now, it's just
yeah.
ridiculous, isn't it?
I like it though, because it's like, yeah, to us, it's probably not the kind of thing that you would wear, but, to these guys, this is just normal. This is what you wear, when you want to go out for a night in the town, you put on your, like, tank top
Just
and
gonna get
your dress.
and your dress made of a curtain.
Yeah. With what looks like a
That is definitely just a curtain.
with like it's got like a built-in bra shape in it as well.
Hmm. I do appreciate just their dedication to alien fashion. Like it looks stupid, but it's from another world, so of course to us it will look stupid.
Yeah. It does.
And the
I really do respect it.
Dominators with their massive shoulder pads.
Yeah. Like their shoulder pads that are so inconceivably large that it's like it's hard to tell what the actual shape of them are. It's really and the actors have got like such stern and serious faces and they look so respectable as people that just putting them in this getup is it's amazing. And we should talk about the story just a little bit. Or do you want to go? Do you want to do the fashion more?
Fuck, does the story matter?
I mean,
It does kind of.
it's a really interesting one because it's like, I mean, it feels like the kind of story that it would be a massive like interesting challenge to do for like a post Time War, post Revival Doctor, where they're all much bigger pacifists than they were in the classic series. Because
That's true because the Doctor basically kills the Dominators at the end of this story.
yeah, and it's really funny as well. It's like he kills them like he's in a Looney Tunes episode or whatever.
Yes, it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. That's a good comparison with this one.
But it's not like so goofy that it doesn't fit in the world. It's about as goofy as they could have taken it, and I really appreciate it for that. I know that,
Yeah.
this was supposed to be the bad one, and there are, it's definitely not a flawless masterpiece, but
No, it's not.
I don't have any ill feelings towards it whatsoever.
Because it's just too goofy. It's Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I do find some of the stuff that it has going on interesting. I really appreciate the characters that we meet at the start, not the Dominator. I mean, I do appreciate the Dominators as well. They're just so stern, and they're so sort of... I mean, they are pretty thoroughly... I mean, they're pretty one note, but they don't have to be anything else, right? Not every character needs to be some nuanced... I don't know.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. You've got this society which is completely split down the middle between you've got the Dulcians, who are like these uber pacifists,
Yeah,
who are like pacifists to the point of we will never do anything. And then they get invaded by the Dominators, who are these very stern people who are like, we will destroy everything. We need to own everything in the world ever.
but beyond
But it,
that, I like that they don't fall into the trap of making these like cultures really sort of you know, all of the individuals within the cultures are the same. They're very well like built up as like, even though we only meet two dominators, they both have very different ideas, and at one point in the story they actively clash with each other, even though they both have similar goals in mind, and they're both uh, you know uh, believers in what seems to be the same ideology and system.
they're
They
sort of more human-like Daleks, aren't they?
Yeah, um, they actually disagree about the best ways to do certain stuff, and they one of them is much more trigger happy than the other, and the other one, there's a trigger happy one who is like the second in command, and then there's his superior who thinks he's wasteful and overly aggressive, and uh, they're actual characters rather than just both conforming to the we are the dominators and we will enslave your planet kind of entirely one note culture. And the Dulcians are the same, where they've got this sort of overbearing sort of pacifism thing where not only are they pacifist, they refuse to defend themselves ever. Really, they apparently have a society that exists without any kind of violence at any level, or prisons or anything, and it's I'm sure that's possible, but we don't really see how it works. Um, and but
They're
everyone
just
within
sort of
that
the
society is an individual.
yeah, because there's this at the start of it this female Dulcian is saying when the Doctor and Jamie come up to them saying that they're aliens, that she's like very unimpressed by the fact that they're aliens. She's not like, oh my God, there are people from another planet here. She's just like, you have told me that you're from another planet, and I have no context to disagree with you.
Yeah,
Whereas then when they introduce them as aliens from another planet to this council, then the council are a bit more questioning of them.
yeah, and I think a lot of that also comes from the fact that there's this one guy, the director's son, who we meet him with like right at the beginning. We meet him like doing this illegal. I really appreciate the opening scene. This was where I was like, oh, this is going to be really fun, isn't it? Where you have this like little lemon juicer moving through the clouds, and it's this pod with this like these people in it, who and you've got this one guy who is the only character who actually it persists through most of the story, who's there going, oh, yeah, are you ready to see the island of death? It's been deserted for 170 years. You can't even go there without dying. And the other guys, yeah, well, there is like a survey team that's like permanently there, and there's like also there's expeditions of students who go there in protective suits like every week or something. And it's not just like cold and expository. It's more sort of it's more character based. It's more there's this one guy like trying to talk up this destination, and everyone else is just sort of like, I mean, yeah, we are doing something, but like, come on, it's not that great. It's sort of don't pick it up too much, mate. Steady on.
And when they talked about this, I mentioned it to you when we were messaging beforehand. This story reminds me of Orphan 55 in quite a lot of places.
It's like Orphan 55
Do
if it
you
had
see
time
that?
to breathe, and I mean, I do kind of see it. It has the sort of
Yeah, I do.
wacky
Because
alien
they've got
cast.
no, but it's the purpose of it is this is the island of death, and we've kept the island of death in preserved to showcase to our students the horrors of radiation so that they can learn from it. And I think at one point, hang on, I left it in my notes somewhere. One of the Dulcians mentions making it into a holiday resort.
I don't remember that, but I would believe you that it's in
Someone
there.
someone did say something about that. Hang on a minute.
Oh no, I think you're
I
ringing a
wrote
bell.
I wrote down the
That's
word.
hmm?
I wrote down the words Orphan 55 at some point. This is the problem with me. I never take my Yeah, they say this sector will be converted for holiday and relaxation purposes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the council, isn't it?
Yeah, the council say that, and I immediately just thought, holy shit, it's the origin of Orphan 55.
It feels to me, especially when we get to the council scenes, where you've got the Dominators who are attacking this planet and are just, basically doing whatever they want to uncontested, um, and and no one's really bothering them. And then you go to the council discussing it. It feels like a really biting satire of something, but I don't know what.
Not sure what. Well, it's supposed to be a satire of the hippie movement
Ah,
because this was in 1968 at the time, and it's got these like ultra pacifisty type people who just insist on talking about things rather than taking action.
well, that's a,
So
that
it's
that's annoying.
it's yes I know it is, yes I know it is, which is why like several which is like about a decade ago I would have called this warmongering propaganda, etc. But whatever, it's just silly because you got this group of pacifists from a planet called Dull Kiss who are like such wimps who won't do anything. But it's sort of a more centristy perspective because you got these dull people who won't do anything and these dominators who are like so single-mindedly focused on war.
Well, yeah, and then you've got the Doctor who's there going, well, maybe we could do something about it.
Yes, maybe we could do something about it while the Dulcians are just going, no, we won't do anything about it.
And I don't know. I feel
So
like
yeah,
if you want to
it's a
apply
political
this
sat.
to whatever you could, obviously, to death of the author and all, right? You can apply this to whatever you want, and it is quite funny, just seeing all
Well,
of these
pretty much.
bureaucrats sitting around going, well, but what if we make the wrong decision? We should think about it for longer.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me in several parts. I wrote this sketch back at university and I adapted this for one of my videos on my YouTube channel that you can watch. It's part of my Riverdale video. It's a horror movie called The Scary Thing That Didn't Matter. And it's basically a horror movie, but it's told from the perspective of a character who, whenever a scary thing happens, just says, "Yeah, I can't be asked with this," and then he walks off screen and eats a sandwich.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's like, hey everybody, let's go and spend the night at the old abandoned sawmill. But our main character just says, "Nah, I've got something to do in the morning. I want to go to sleep," and then he goes to sleep.
I kind of. I love that. I love that the character feels that he needs an excuse to not spend the night at the abandoned sawmill.
Yeah, and then one of the characters who's been off screen this entire time comes back from the old abandoned sawmill and he's had his arm hacked off by the killer and he goes, "No, we need to save them. There's still enough time." And then he faints, but then the character just says, "Oh, that's annoying," and then he just walks off.
I remember. I think I vaguely remember this. I definitely watched
Yeah,
your
so
Riverdale video, so that's not a crazy
yeah,
revelation.
that's basically what this story does. We've got these characters who are completely uninterested in the plot.
Yeah, um, and it is really fun. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I've already said I don't have any ill will towards this story, other than I guess uh, it, if knowing this is supposed to be about hippies does make it a bit annoying. Uh,
Yeah.
but like,
That's true, but that's true, but you can disagree politically with the story and still find something good in it.
yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. I would much rather apply this to the things that I want to apply it to. I'm not
Okay,
sure
what
what that
do you want to
is.
apply it to?
I don't know. You could probably
Because
do some.
I know that that was the original purpose of it.
You could probably do some sort of coronavirus allegory with it, where everyone's sitting around
Yeah,
going,
true.
"Oh, but what if we make the wrong decision? It's probably better to just not do anything."
Yeah, that's true. That's essentially what happened.
And if I apply that lens to it, I really enjoy it. I lo- this shot is
Oh, have you
right, like
found which shot are you on? Hang on, I was looking at my notes. Oh yeah, of him looking up Jamie's kill.
yeah. Um,
That was. There is quite a lot of bits like that in the Dominators, because
This is the
it's
only one I
about.
noticed.
No, there was another bit I found. There was an exchange between the Doctor and Zoe, where Zoe asks, no, the Doctor asks, but how do the quarks sustain their power? And then Zoe says, it must be an ultrasonic device of sophisticated design. And then the Doctor says, yes, it must be quite a powerful tool. And then she just sort of gives him a look, and it's like, yeah, it's a knob joke.
Was that a knob joke?
Yeah, it's obviously a knob joke. There's a sort. Troughton just gives her a sort of knowing look.
My interpretation, what I like, my just like takeaway from that when I was watching that was that basically, um,
I've
that
just written in my thing, haha, knob joke.
what I took away from that scene genuinely was, Zoe says, "Oh, it must be this science words, bosh bish bash bosh, molecular Compson's blumpulator," and the Doctor says, "Yes, it must be very powerful." And I assumed that Zoe giving him that look was her going,
He said he
I
does.
just
He
said
does
that
say the.
in much better words, and you've just,
I
you know.
I have I quote this directly. He says, yes, it must be quite a powerful tool.
Look, I just wasn't prepared. I don't think my mind was in the space to process a knob joke in Troughton Who.
There were them in there. There's this interview clip with Fraser Hines where he's talking about the knob jokes in the Second Doctor's era, where he says, I think he was. I actually think he was talking about the opening of the Two Doctors, where he goes, "Look at the size of that thing, Doctor," and then the Doctor says, "Yes, Jamie, it is a big one."
That can't have been a knob joke.
Knob
That
joke,
could just as easily be
essentially.
about a big poo.
True, that could it just as easily be just dialogue, but it's. I don't know. The more you watch Troughton's Who, the more you see knob jokes in them.
Look, this is a revelation for me. I wasn't ready to find out that there are knob jokes in Troughton Who.
I'm finding this quite funny.
But yeah, so part one is basically just our characters are around and they're doing stuff. You know, we've got, hey, there's an island of death and there's this guy who goes to it. Hey, there's a survey team on the island also. Hey, also the Doctor lands on the island, and hey, also the Dominators are landing on the island, and they've brought the Quarks, and they're like doing stuff, and that's literally what part one is. And you know what? I'm not complaining. I do like thoroughly building the world before the story actually sort of begins. I like actually knowing, you know, who the characters are and what the factions are and what kind of place we're dealing with. But yeah, it's not particularly eventful. It is charming though.
Yeah, and then the Doctor gets kidnapped by the Dominators at the end of
Yeah.
the episode, and then he spends pretty much out all of episode two captured by them, and
Well,
the Dominators' torture methods on the Doctor that you can get away with in 1960s Doctor Who were genuinely hilarious.
well, I mean, they just have like a pain machine and like an electric zapper. You know.
No, they have this. Hang on, hang on.
Well, they
If
do.
you can find it, they have this sort of block puzzle
Well,
game
no,
that they
yeah,
make him play.
that's the intelligence test.
Yeah, the intelligence test. It's a sort of block puzzle game, and if he does it wrong, he gets shocked. And I immediately thought, "Holy shit, it's Squid Game!"
It is. That's what I thought as well. Yes. Squid
Yeah,
Game
basically
reference.
Squid Game.
No, but the thing, this is like the most typical Troughton story for, you know, just how the Doctor is in it. I feel if you want to see what is the second Doctor like, this might be a pretty good story to go to for it, because he is very much like, he's pulling out all of like the fan favorite second Doctor moves here. You know, a huge amount of the runtime is dedicated to him pretending to be stupid so that his opponents underestimate him. In like the most overt way that I think he probably ever does it. And it's really fun to watch as well. He does it so brilliantly.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it to people if I'd said, if you asked me what's the best second Doctor story to start with, though,
No, I wouldn't either. But at the same time, like,
because it's easily the corniest one.
well, yeah, Depending on who I'm recommending this to, right? If you're watching this and you find charm in 60s camp and goofiness, and you're not put off by slow pacing, this might be the one to go for. This might be a good jumping on point.
True, it might be. It is very slow paced because they don't really have much plot to deal with. It's basically just.
This could
it's
be
basically just
a 45
the rest
modern day episode.
Yeah, it could easily be that. So that's the strange thing. It's very relevant to Orphan 55, but Orphan 55 kind of moved a bit too fast and was a bit too direct in its political commentary, wasn't it?
Yeah. Orphan 55, what we're doing now and applying the political commentary in this to other things that are happening in the modern day, you could never do that with Orphan 55.
No, you couldn't.
Because it literally it has a scene at the end that's like, by the way, this is what the episode is about. And it doesn't really have the, universally applicable, or not necessarily universally, but you know what I mean, widely applicable portrayal of characters making particular mistakes that you can apply to whatever you want in the real world and compare to whatever, you want to.
True, I mean, because you didn't know it was about the hippie movement until I told you.
Yeah. I was sort of like, yeah, this is fun. I wonder what they're making fun of. But like...
Well, they're making fun of the dull kissers.
They are.
Or the Dulcians. But they also kind of are making fun of the Dominators as well. It's like a very, very bad, over-the-top political cartoon. You know the way that you see political cartoons in like the newspapers from like the 1960s, where it's like they've got obvious bad person labeled like a specific person from the 1960s. So it's like there's a monster and it's got the label Nixon on it or something like that.
Yeah. Things are like, I don't know. It's not. Maybe,
but
if
it
I was
is vague
watching
enough
this in
to
the
be.
60s, I would think this
It
was
is
like...
vague enough to be. It is vague enough to be able to be able to apply our own context to it.
Yeah. It's.
But yeah, if you were watching it in the 60s, you would think, "Oh, this is too obvious."
Interesting.
So yeah, maybe in the future, this is the point that I keep on trying to hammer with lots of things that I've been talking about recently. Maybe in the future, something that is commonly hated right now will have new context applied to it, and people will find something to love in it.
Yeah, well, the thing about... I don't think that's necessarily true. Well, it's definitely not true of Orphan 55, because you can't apply that to...
No, that's true, as we just
maybe
mentioned.
Something like Kill the Moon.
Yes, maybe. I haven't watched that in years now.
No, I haven't watched it since broadcast.
Yeah, I don't want to, but maybe. Who knows? Maybe in 2 decades I'm going to watch it back and find it as cute as I find the Dominators now.
People keep reposting that one scene from the end of it where Clara argues with the Doctor, and I mean, when we get to the 12th Doctor in this little thing that we're doing with a good episode and a bad episode for every Doctor, in 2029, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, optimistic at our current rate, but...
Oh God, I'll be 39.
I'm also terrified by the passage of time. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm just an aging bag of meat.
Same, and so are you watching this.
What are you kidding, Jay? You young whippersnapper.
Well, you're an aging bag of meat at any age.
Yes, I know, but you're going to snap my whips. Whatever the hell a whippersnapper is.
Even when you're 3,
so tell me
even when you're 3 years old, your 4th birthday is another year closer to your inevitable death.
Tell me what a whippersnapper means, Google.
That's a good question, actually.
It's just a word that I've heard old people use. Young and inexperienced person considered to be presumptuous and overconfident.
That's about right.
Yeah, but what is a whipper and why do you snap it?
Look,
the etymology has got to come from somewhere.
Was that what generation is it that you like originally used that word? Because I swear that like Grandpa uses it in The Simpsons.
Yeah, he definitely
And
does.
was what was he supposed to be like? Greatest generation.
I think he was meant to be Silent Generation. Well, it depends because it depends because the timeline's always moving on The Simpsons, isn't it?
That's true. But like, I think he used it pretty early on in the show.
Actually, yeah, given 1989, it probably would be Greatest Generation from when The Simpsons
And they had
started. I mean,
episodes about him fighting in the war.
yeah, that's true. So it must have been, yeah, and that must have been either World War One or World War Two.
I think it was World War Two. I think that he and Burns fought side by side in World War Two.
I need to rewatch it. I will eventually. Anyway, what are we talking about?
The
How do we get onto
Dominators.
this? Dominators, yes, exactly.
Hey, isn't it fun? We talk about like how some things might be recontextualized and then kill the moon. What if Kablam is recontextualized and one day people think it's a really brilliant satire of something that's happening?
It could be eventually, although that is quite direct, isn't it? You know the
Yeah.
way it's about Space Amazon because Amazon probably will. Kablam will probably just happen, like literally just happen.
Something along those lines.
Yeah,
You know, you'll have workers there going, yeah, robot. We finally developed robots to do all of the art and entertainment and creativity for us. So now we can focus on, stocking warehouses and things.
yeah. I mean that's what's happening right now, isn't it?
Exactly. Anyway, the Dominators.
So yeah, the Quarks are really cute, aren't they?
They are. They are. No, they're adorable. They're like. I really want to see them come back and have their design not changed in any way whatsoever.
Yes, I want that as well. Yeah, if Russell is watching this, do it.
Well, I mean,
Bring the Quarks back.
RTD2 seems
No
like if any
change.
era is going to do it, RTD2, who has currently brought back the Toy Maker and Beep the Meep.
Yeah, if anyone's gonna, if anything's gonna do it, it's definitely gonna be RTD2. But I really want the Quarks to come back. The scene where there's Jamie and the other one with the sort of curtain skirt thing are throwing rocks at the Dominator at the Quarks, and there's this one Quark that just sort of falls on its side and it start going no no, and its little legs are wiggling in the air, and I
They
just
are.
thought, oh my god, that's adorable.
I. You could totally bring the Dominators back to do some like, I don't know, big, big like they're fascist, but like they're hilarious, and you can't help but laugh at them because they look so silly. Like commentary on
That would
that.
actually, that would be a knowing commentary. That would be.
That would be a really fun story to do, and I would genuinely love it. I would love to see in a like the moment in a trailer where you see these characters come back with no change to their design whatsoever. You've got the shoulder pads and the bodysuit made of Christmas decorations. You've got the just entirely cumbersome Quarks. It
Just
could be
sort of with
really
those really
fun.
stern faces.
Yeah,
You're showing unnecessary softness.
yeah. I'd
I'm
love
doing the face
that.
in the camera. Can people see this? You're
People
showing
can see
unnecessary
that.
softness.
I'm sorry. I'll try not to.
I did, I did really like that. Just that phraseology when the two Dominators are having that argument in episode four, where they just go, you show unnecessary softness. Perhaps it is you who are not fit to be a Dominator."
Yeah, it's all a bit kinky.
Yeah, a
As
little bit. As I mentioned, knob humor. It's called the Dominators.
I think that the Dominators is something that we're projecting that onto rather than an intention of the script. Although who
I
knows?
think there was intention in it,
I
some
mean,
kind of intention in it,
they're dressed
because
in
people
like
have
the
been trying
least
to.
sexy conceivable possible outfit.
What are you talking about? The curtain skirts? That's
I mean, but
hot.
the Dominators are, as in, like, chat, if this guy on screen is doing it for you specifically because of this outfit, please let us know.
If you wanted to do a porn parody of the Dominators, you wouldn't have to change anything in the script or anything in the visuals. That is my contention.
No, I was extremely aroused from the start to the finish. But yeah, you got so yeah, you got the Doctor. The Doctor's like going around pretending to be very stupid. It doesn't have like major plot implications or anything. It's just sort of it's his initial play, and it doesn't. You know, you do have the. I guess you do have the Dominators underestimating him for the rest of the story, and that is what allows him to just like Wile E. Coyote them at the end.
Yeah, and no one questions how stupid the Doctor is acting because the Dulcians are presented as so stupid anyway.
Yeah,
So it's like he's trying to blend in.
it really works, and so the final plan that the Doctor uses to defeat the Dominators is the Dominators' plan first of all is to create is to make a drilling site on the planet at a thin point in the crust. Launch rockets down into the mantle to create a volcano, and then detonate a nuke in the volcano that they've created to do something. This will destroy the entire planet, apparently. I guess it's a big nuke.
They want to create a volcano.
Yeah, but a nuke volcano.
A nuke volcano that will destroy the planet. Isn't that the plot of Power of the Doctor?
Kinda.
One of the 5 or 6 plots of Power of the Doctor.
I mean, they just want to cause like all of the volcanoes to erupt.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the Dominators want to do as well, isn't it? They want a volcano to erupt.
Did we mention in our episode on Power of the Doctor that the Daleks wanted to cause like volcanic eruptions, so apparently had to kidnap human seismologists to tell them how to do it? Like,
No, we didn't mention that.
could you imagine if you were a seismologist and you were kidnapped by a Dalek who just then asks them to explain seismology to them?
Why didn't we get a scene of that? That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing we did say about Power of the Doctor, is it didn't focus on any of the bits that would be interesting or fun to see.
Just a Dalek going to explain how volcanoes erupt.
Yeah. Explain the fundamentals of sedimentology, please.
Explain, Professor Spinkleman. Explain.
You could have there's probably a really fun episode concept in there.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know what it would be.
Everything that was done off screen in the Chibnall era should be made.
Yes. And used to replace the Chibnall era.
Yes, I agree with that.
You've got basically half of part 5 is, or is it part 4? I think
it's a 5-part episode.
Was in oh no, yeah, it's basically half of part 5 is like Jamie and side character running around throwing rocks at Quarks and bombs as well.
Yeah, which is just adorable.
Yeah. It is. It's sort of this is one of the parts where the slow pacing really like made my eyes glaze over, because the slow pacing at the start is like we're having scenes of dialogue, and even though the plot's not really progressing, I'm having fun with the characters and they're being goofy. This is just like, hey, would you like to see Jamie blow up a quark? Okay, that's happened. Would you like to see Jamie blow up another quark? Okay, here's a 30-second sequence of Jamie doing that. All right, so now there's a third quark, and you're never going to guess what Jamie does to that.
Does he throw a rock at it and blow it up?
He does. He does. And it goes on for absolutely ages. But then the Dominators want to drop a nuke into a hole they've drilled. And to be fair, it's great dialogue. Jamie has his plan to drill their own shaft that intersects with the Dominator's shaft. That was a great sentence. he and the Doctor, and they could just reach into that and then grab the nuke when they drop it in, because it's just this small little thing that you can hold in your hand, and you have the Doctor say, "Wow, Jamie, that's wonderful. It's so simple. Only you could have thought of it." It's good dialogue. It's good fun. Uh,
Well, it's just so stupid. Well, I mean, we should be a bit more lenient on part five because it was clearly rewritten in a hurry.
you think?
Well, yeah, because this was originally supposed to be a six-part serial.
Ah, real? No way. As in, like,
Yeah,
there was
really,
supposed to
the
be,
Dom.
but they waste so much time in part five.
Yes, I know. But yeah, basically, the Dominators was originally supposed to be a six-part serial, but then when they realised they didn't have enough material to cover six parts, it had to be rewritten. Basically, this and the Mind Robber had to be rewritten so that the
I'm
Mind Robber
honestly so
becomes
glad
five.
of that, though. Like, there's
Oh yeah, totally.
both these stories were slowly paced enough that I did get bored in both. I did get bored during the Mind Robber at points. There's only so far. Oh my god, it's very trippy though. Can take me when it's a
True.
2 hour story. Um,
Yeah, the serial was originally composed of six episodes, but it was deemed too short of content and reduced to five at last minute.
that might have
Producer
been very
Peter
healthy for it.
Peter Bryan ordered Haseman and Lincoln to abandon writing the sixth episode, and script editor Derek Sherwin rewrote the fifth episode to provide a conclusion.
Okay, that
So
might.
that's why. So that basically explains why it ends with the Doctor just chucking a bomb in the Dominator ship and blowing it
I
up,
love that
and then just
ending
going.
though. It's so fun. Um,
It's just so it is fun in the way it just sort of goes, fuck it, let's end it now.
so yeah, the ending is, and this only works, I think, because the Dominators have been convinced thoroughly that the Doctor is actually very stupid, and it's even like it's poetic and entertaining because he could probably still have come up with this if he was very stupid. His plan is to, when they chuck the nuke in, grab it and just chuck it back in their ship and hope they don't notice, and it works, and it's great. You just see him sneak up as they're about to leave on their ship. He chucks it in the door and then leaves, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Their
like you
ship
said,
blows
it's a
up.
it's Looney Tunes, isn't it?
I would love to see a modern Who episode end like this. The Doctor just walking on his tiptoes, chucking a bomb, chucking the enemy's bomb back at them, and then leaving.
With the cartoon sound effect as well of him going.
Yeah. So,
And then, the ending shot of him stood outside the TARDIS, and then just going, "Ha, yes." And then Zoe and Jamie go, "Doctor, the volcano," and then he just goes, "Who?" And then he runs back inside the TARDIS. It's very slapstick.
well, yeah, you have, and I've seen this clip loads of times before. I didn't realize it was from this story where where Jamie and Zoe are going, "Doctor, aren't you worried about the volcano?" And the Doctor says, "Well, now that we've disabled the nuclear device, the all that will happen is a minor volcanic eruption that will only affect the island." And Jamie says, "But Doctor, we're on the island." And then the Doctor has a little moment, and they run back into the TARDIS, which actually leads directly into the next story.
Yeah. So it's kind of good that we picked bad one and then good one, which are right
Yeah.
next to each other.
Yeah, it is very convenient in that respect. Do you have any more thoughts on the Dominators, or shall we move on to the Mind Robber next?
Yeah, that's it. It's just cute.
It is.
It's a
It's
cute slice of '60s cheese.
yeah, it's so 60s. I love everything about it, even the bits I
It's more
don't.
enjoyable. Yeah, it's more enjoyable than I remembered it being.
Yeah, like it's impossible to. I do really feel it's impossible to like get get mad at this one, or to like think, oh, it's so shit, or anything like that.
No, it's just cute and stupid.
YouTube viewers, thanks for
Because enough
tuning in.
time has it's enough time has passed now.
It has. We could apply it to things that it's not wanting to apply it to. Anyway, YouTube viewers, thanks for tuning in. the next one will be uploaded at some point in the future. Haven't really figured out when these are going up on the YouTube channel yet, but they will.
Jay Jay will do some stuff.
I
I should do
will.
the theme. I'll do the theme to play us out. Ooh, ee, ooh, wee, ooh, 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 ooh. That was my arrangement of the Doctor Who theme tune.
Thank you.